Because the market's waiting to time the market, and you're still waiting past April 2023. You wait till Zerend, buy the right house in the right street for the right price, look after everything on the management of it right, and keep it for the long term, and you'll always be okay. If you are making a one-time investment and you're thinking of holding it off a bit longer, don't. Past April 2023, the market's on the way. Hi, I'm Jess.
I'm Adam.
And we're for thelandlords.com. We help landlords get more money, less hassle, and their time back.
Do indeed. All right, today's going to be a market update.
Yeah, well, it's been asked for quite a few times.
Yeah, probably every month.
Yeah, well, but just before we get started, if you're looking through the video comments, leave comments as questions. We'll listen to them. I or Adam or there's one other person that could look at them and reply back to every single one of those. So you'll always get a reply. And if you've got a specific topic, a specific question, put it in the chat there and we'll do our best to answer it. And this is something that comes up a lot. I've even done a little bit of research.
Ooh,
I got some notes. And also you might have noticed we're in a different location. We got a little bit excited. This is the YouTube studio, the promised, and it's been coming for over a year now. In actual fact, it's not the YouTube studio. The YouTube studio is there in that bit, but this is the bit where we can set it all up in the lights, and the electrics aren't quite on, as you can see, yet. But we're getting there. So in the next couple of weeks, I think 6 weeks, we're scheduled to be actually in there making videos. So that will up the quality of the content. And onwards and upwards from that point. But for today,
cool.
We're on a building site.
There might be some people walking through.
Yeah, there might be. Yeah, there's a guy putting a roof on outside. So what do you want to talk about? You saw the questions. I've got my notes because I think I know where we're going with it.
It happens every other day, doesn't it? Oh, what do you think to the market at the minute? Where are we at right now? Do you think prices are going down? And it's always skewed by the numbers in the south and then reported as the market.
Yep.
We came across this article, didn't we? That Nationwide had reported this week that prices have gone up.
Yes, tiny bit for the first time in 8 months.
Yeah.
So we mentioned it about 6 weeks ago that we felt that the market had already turned, and as Adam says, depending on who you're listening to, is it the Office of National Statistics or Oxford Institute of Economics,
a mortgage company,
or Halifax Nationwide, or the guy down the pub, or the Sun newspaper? They've all got slightly different opinions. This one was the Nationwide, which obviously a big mortgage lender, so they start to see things before. Couple of things that will skew things. One, like Adam said, the market is skewed by the south. The numbers in the south, if they change by the same percentage, they're bigger numbers. It makes things go up
or go down
differently, or go down differently. There's a bigger weighting there, and they tend to move with slightly more volatility, and it's slightly slower north generally. That's a bit of a exaggeration on, there were certain places in the Golden Triangle up north where they move just the same as their London linked prices. If you go to Harrogate, Oxford,
parts of Cheshire,
they are London linked prices. Tiny little pocket of somewhere on the Cornwall coast is a London linked price. So that skews things. The other thing that skews things is the data and how it's reported. So we get our data from estate agents, asking them. It's on the street, it's what's happening this week. And of course, what they sell this week will take, well, at the moment, I think the pipeline, not our pipeline, the average estate agency pipeline is over 90 days still.
Oh, gotcha.
So if something sale agrees, it won't go through for 90 days. And then Land Registry will report that, depending on how long their backlog is, anything up to 6 months later. So whatever's been talked about by estate agents, we know it to be true. Might not hit the readers of the Sun newspaper, for example, for a year. So
I think it's fair to say anything you read, like this thing, really started probably happening 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And what you read 6 months ago started happening 6 months before that.
Yeah. So I guess the message is, if you want to really be informed about what the market is doing, this kind of stuff is useful. I mean, I'm flapping a piece of paper around. I wrote some notes on the Nationwide, and it's all available online. You can Google the latest Nationwide index, and you could do that at any point. The Halifax index and the Oxford Institute and the Office of National Statistics. But it's not really very much use to a property investor who's wanting to see where things are going. The most useful thing will be to speak to estate agents. The second most useful would probably be then to look at Land Registry. start seeing the numbers change there. I like to look back at land registry historic figures to see previous peaks. That can always tell you where the ceiling is going to. That's a useful thing. What's the message?
Don't try and time the market, I reckon.
Yeah, we like to buy the right house in the right area for the right price, and then you're never going to go wrong.
But I know for a fact that our guys sale agreeing property in the areas where they invest are paying slightly more today than what they were paying before Christmas.
Yeah, that feels about right. Yeah. So
our landlords are paying a bit more than what they were paying 6 months ago.
I think the message here would be, if pure nationwide statistics were 7 months of falls, the market going down, and then last month, April, would have been April, yeah, just to check that's right, it's April, yes, a very small uptick in the price. It was only 0.5%, but we'd expect that to keep going. And I think we're predicting that. About 6 weeks ago, we said that's what's going to happen. You're going to get anywhere between 24 and 36 months of consecutive rises. And you might see a dip and a rise and a dip and a rise, but generally speaking, over that period of time, prices are going to go up. So you're saying don't try and time the market. I think that's
I've never ever tried to time the market myself,
that's fair
and
comment.
I've always done all right.
However, if you were going to
try, really well,
if you were going to try and time the market, now might be the time, because the market's turned. If you're waiting to time the market and you're still waiting past April 2023, you're waiting too long. The prices are going up.
Now's the time if you've been procrastinating and waiting, because
that would be the message.
That's a foolish thing to try and do, in my opinion. You know, I know plenty of people that just crack on and plough on regardless of all the noise.
Yeah. So I've been investing all the way through, and it's about buying the right house for the right price and keeping going. But if you did want to try and time the market, don't wait any longer. It's now. Prices are on the way up. That's the message.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. So out of all the questions that all got asked on this topic, there was about 30 of them overall. Generally speaking, don't try and time the market. It's fool's errand. Buy the right house in the right street for the right price. Look after everything on the management of it right, and keep it for the long term, and you'll always be okay. However, if you are making a one-time investment and you're thinking of holding it off a bit longer, don't. Past April 2023, the market's on the way up, and it will. I believe it will be steadily going up now for the next 2 to 3 years, maybe longer, but that's just what's really in the card. And I'm saying that because of the way all sorts of data is coming in on mortgage rates and interest rates are changing around that number. They're not directly related, but they're correlated. And just listening to other people in the industry, that's where the direction seems to be going.
Okay. Yeah. Good.
There's a lot more to talk about that. I'm sort of stuttering around thinking.
Well,
that's probably another video. That's probably another 10-minute video.
It is. We've also got Discovery Call on Wednesday this week coming up. So there's a couple of spaces left. Come and ask us any questions on there. Yeah, we run a Discovery Call once every week or so. Sometimes it's every other week. Go to forthelandlords.com. We'll put a link in there, comments, but forthelandlords.com, book a call. There's a few spaces left. It'd be nice to meet you. Yeah, anybody's got any questions? Or see you again. That's the place to get your questions answered. Good. forthelandlords.com/discovery. That's it. The Discovery page. That's the place where you get all your questions answered. Right, cool. All right. Done. Cheers for now. Have a great bank holiday weekend.